are back at the movie theater, first time in over a year. Felt pretty good. You know when you go to the theater for like so many years, and you sort of like become numb to the smell of what a theater smells like the popcorn and the butter.
Yeah.
So, being the first time in over a year, that smell happened
Pungent.
nonstop.
It's pungent, but in a good way.
Liked it. It was pretty cool. So we watched together a movie that is a very, very small movie that probably would have never came to our theater in our little town if there
Had it not been for COVID.
if there wasn't a pandemic. But it did come, and it's I don't think many people were watching it, but we came and watched it.
Yep.
We like Ed Helms. It's got good reviews.
Yeah.
So we came and checked it
So
out.
of course, us being the Oscar movie people that we are, we have to
movie-
watch movies that are considered Oscar
A
worthy.
movie that's in no way going to get nominated for Oscars.
No.
But
It's just like Booksmart.
so what? It's always cool to check out a little indie dramedy that feels pretty reminiscent of a lot of movies from like the late 2000s. Like in the late 2000s, there was there was a surge of like these kind of indie dramedies that not necessarily dealt with pregnancies, but there was a few of them that dealt with pregnancy. You had like Juno, maybe like a young adult starring Charlize Theron. But this is a little different. It has Ed Helms. It's going to be the father of a baby with the surrogate mother played by Patty Harrison, who's a sort of a new face. I've only seen her in a show called Shrill, which is
I have not seen her in
It's on
anything.
Hulu, and she's sort of like an April Ludgate from Parks and Recreation on that show, like a little
I could see that.
snarky.
I could see that.
And I think that through this movie's predictability, it's very unpredictable. It actually ended up being about something that I didn't think so. I'd never watched the trailer.
Yeah.
I never watched the trailer, so I just
Me
assumed that the movie would go a certain way. And yeah, the movie is about relationships. It's about partnerships, but not maybe in the way that you'd expect. And I appreciated that.
Yeah, I honestly expected the movie to be exactly what you expect of a rom-com, but it doesn't. It's not one of those type of movies where you're going to walk in with a date and walk out thinking, oh, well, that's a movie that's going to get me some fun later with a rom-com that's not this movie. Which is good. It's a breath of fresh air when it comes to the rom-com genre. It needs a little bit of a fresh air.
Totally, even if you want to call it a rom-com.
Yeah,
like it's.
yeah.
I don't know. Like it. I always felt relatively happy while watching the movie.
Yeah.
It's a very, very pleasant movie. I was always smiling or laughing. There's not like a lot of like gut-busting laughs, but there's a lot of small laughs, especially with the her coworker at the coffee shop. A very funny guy.
I would almost say that the supporting actors and actresses outshine the leads at points.
Comedically, no doubt. Like actually, Ed Helms is sort of like. I'm not saying he's a complete straight guy in this movie because he's still kind of goofy and he has like his Ed Helmisms, but this is probably like the straightest we've seen him aside from like maybe like Jeff Who Lives at Home.
Yeah.
And Patty Harrison, who like I said is sort of like that snarky like one-liner character on the show Shrill, shows a lot of depth here. I've only actually seen season 1 of Shrill, and she was pretty one note on that season. And to see her growth as an actress from that to this, I actually think that she's amazing in this. Like, she's really good. And the movie, yet again, maybe just because it's the first time we've been to the theater in so long, but the movie, I think, goes to some pretty surprising depths. And it's really nice to get absorbed into a movie that if I know for a fact if I watched this at the house, I wouldn't have felt the same way. I absolutely would not have.
I agree with that, but at the same time, this is a movie that it's not a long runtime. It's about an hour and 30 minutes tops. This is a movie that I could sit down and watch multiple times and enjoy it just as much the first time as I do the fifth or sixth time watching it.
Oh, absolutely. But I'm just really glad that the first time watching it was at the theater.
Yeah.
So that I was able to absorb in all the emotions in it, because while it does have a lot of comedic elements, there's some dramatic elements.
Yeah.
And through the beats you expect certain things to happen, but it earns some of the predictable levels in it. And I think that it's very well written, very well acted. There's a few artistic moments like visually, but not too much. Like
Yeah.
I think the movie ends on a pretty substantial like artistic note visually that maybe you're not expecting.
Well, there's a Q&A after the movie, which if you do get to watch the movie here in Logan, you got this weekend, and that's it because it's gone after Sunday, according to our
Yeah, I believe that's what he said.
our
Yeah.
people here at the theater. There is a Q&A after. The movie took 17 days to shoot.
Yes.
And they're mostly interior shots, so if you're going in for a movie that you're going to want to see cinematography and things like that, this ain't the movie for you. But over 17 days pre-pandemic, this movie is, like, very well put together for 17 days.
I believe so. And all, as far as I could tell, all post-production took place during the pandemic.
During the pandemic, yeah.
And I believe they said it premiered at Sundance in January, which happened during the pandemic. And I don't know how much money this movie's made. Honestly,
Probably not a lot, which is kind of sad.
and honestly, this movie may catch a second wind when it moves to streaming, because maybe not
Yeah.
as many people are comfortable, but we've been fully vaccinated, and we wanted to come out. This is the first thing we've seen since Onward in
Yep.
March of 2020, getting us warmed up a little bit for some of the like heavy hitters, and I couldn't think of a better one to watch other than this. Like this was, I thought this was an utter delight, and I've only seen 9 or 10 movies. This is easily one of the best movies I've seen this year. Like I really, as I was watching it, I couldn't think of many things that I'd change about it, while recognizing that it's not like a groundbreaking piece of cinema. It's just a really solid indie dramedy with a surprising performance from Ed Helms and a surprising performance from Patty Harrison. And another thing that, and this has nothing to do with the movie, but it's refreshing to see a transgender woman playing a non-transgender character. Like I thought, like have you ever seen that? Like, have you ever seen that in a movie that's, let alone playing at our theater? Like that's almost unheard of, and I think that's definitely taking things in the right direction. But this movie is super good.
Yeah.
I don't have much else to say because it's pretty simple.
It's a
pretty simple movie. There's some conflict here and there, and like I said, it earns some of that. Some of that predictability, but through its awkwardness and its dialogue between these characters and this sort of like awkward thing that's happening between them, I just think it's ultimately a really, really like moving movie about friendship and partnership.
It's a very enjoyable film. Like I said before, it's a movie that I could see myself watching multiple times, and that's really how if I'm going to base a movie on our grading scale, starting this season, that's kind of how I would grade a movie, from not from your perspective, because you go more into the technical aspects of things, but as far as a rewatch factor and as far as enjoying the movie, I could see myself, like I said, sitting down and watching this movie 4 or 5 times, just enjoying it just as much the first time as I would those other times.
Oh yeah, I could definitely watch it again. I probably will. I found it to be that pleasant and not depressing at all, which is nice during a global pandemic that we've been in for over a year.
Yep.
I might be jumping the gun a little bit, but I think giving this like an A- would be cheating it a little bit, because I think that, like I said, wouldn't change for what this movie is. Wouldn't change anything. It's not an A+, because it didn't
not a modern day masterpiece.
Didn't like move me to complete tears. There was maybe like a moment or two that got maybe a tear out of me.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, I give this an A, and that may change like down the line. But right now, I don't care. Rules change during a pandemic, and whenever you go watch a movie for the first time in theaters, things change. And this is an A to me.
This is when we go at the end of the year, when we rank our top 10 of the year, or top 15, whatever we can do this year. Because we didn't get to do that last year, and that's kind of sad.
I did one, but it was pretty weak.
But, last year was pretty weak.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give it a. I'm gonna give it an A. I'll give it an A as well. Like I said, come check out the movie if you get to this weekend. If you're in another part of the U.S., Canada, wherever this movie may be playing, and you feel safe, go check it out.
Yeah.
Real good.
If I know, I recognize that Judas and the Black Messiah came out in like February, but if Judas and the Black Messiah is considered a 2020 movie, this is the best movie I've seen in 2021. And you can make an argument that for what this is, it works just as good as Judas and the Black Messiah. Because I actually had a couple problems with Judas and the Black Messiah, but I recognize that the weight of Judas and the Black Messiah was more
Yes.
substantial than this.
Yes.
But yeah, not ready to just rank stuff and whatever.
Yeah.
It was very good. So yeah, if you get a chance to watch this, watch it. Watch it in theaters if you feel safe, fully vaccinated, or if you just
go to the movies.
Yeah.
If you feel safe, you're vaccinated.
if you
Go to the
feel
movies.
comfortable with it, just go. And yeah, and hopefully this will be streaming sometime, and maybe this will catch like a second life along the way.
Yeah,
So
that'd be nice.
Have you seen Together? Probably not. But if
You should.
if you have, I want to know what you guys thought about it. 'Cause we thought it was very, very pleasant. Please let us know in the comment section below. Hit that subscribe button, and thank you for watching.